Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this fantastic circuit. Paul Ricard. It's the GT3 doubleheader round 6 of the 2021 Fall Championship for the what should be a very exciting shakeup, as we have a lot of drivers have dropped teams and as well switched teams, joining new teams. It should be a very exciting race for you today. Like always, it's Jay Alvarez, your commentator. I have no color commentator with me today, but we'll just get right to it. We have the practice session ending in about 15 seconds. We're going to quickly go over the GT3 team standings, as we have Team Adidas Parlay of Riley Manier, Professor Cornotis, and Richie Girolamo of the Adidas Parlay team with 630 points. Sorry, 603 points. They're leading by a really major margin, and I'll try to say that 3 times fast. Then we have Panzer Wallmolder with 448 points. Now, what I was talking about just a second ago with the shakeup is Mo Vassal has stepped down from the Panzer Wallmolder team, and now he's been replaced by Ed Kerstetter of the I believe he is in the DIR racing team right now. So no points will go allotted for what he's done already with DIR, but he is now going to be joining the Panzer Wallmotor team. Then in third place, we have the Flying Lizard Porsche with 441, Nest Motorsports with 438. So a lot of room could change up between the 2, 3, and 4 there. Then DIR Racing in 5, IDRF in 6, Southern Star Motorsports in 7, FAF Motorsports in 8, BRB Racing Club in 9, and one of their drivers has had to step down from that team, so that's going to be another little shakeup as the RHD Racing, and rounds it out at 10. Then there's Morton Salt, McLaren, Iron Force, Omega, McLovin, McLaren Motorsports, Azuri Racing, Incident Collectors, Avanti, Turtle Tracks in 18, Underdog 19. Going over the GT3 driver standings right now, we have Riley Manier in P1 with 377 points. Josh Willis, Ed Kerstetter now changed over to the Panzer Wallmotor team. None of those points that Ed Kerstetter has collected so far will jump over the new team, so he'll be earning new points for his teammates. Then we have Andrew Pickrell in 4. Mike Burkhoff has dropped from the season, so then we have McKeesey in 5, McConnell in 6, Richie Girolamo in 7, Anirudh Sundar in 8, Snyder in 9, Ali Raza in 10. Scroll down the list here. We're going to drop out of that as we are now starting our qualifying. And like always, we have Josh Willis coming out first in this qualifying session. It's a 10-minute qualifying session. Then we're going to go into a 30-minute race. And then it will be a 10-minute practice, followed by a 10-minute quali, and then into a 60-minute race. So that will be a slight enduro race for that second half of the doubleheader, which means that points are going to double. So whoever wins out on that second race is going to be doing it in the top 10. Those are going to be double the points for all those drivers. And down the straight this Porsche goes. It's going to be a little bit of an upset here, as I think that we're going to see some differences of the Porsche speed overall next to that Ferrari. Okay, so there we go. Just checking some of my camera angles here. If there's any issues with the audio, just let me know now, as everything's kind of ringing in okay. People could hear it. Trackside, cars, everything. Now, one thing to note is he's crossing that pit lane exit. When we are going to be doing the mandatory pit stops for the 60-minute race, it will be crucial that those drivers do not cross that line. It will in itself be a post-race stewarding penalty if you have been found to not give the space to a driver coming out of the pit lane there and onto the track again. So while it is the racing line, a lot of those drivers are going to have to give some space. Going on board with Josh Willis as he's going out on his flyer lap. We can see the times of all these drivers probably couple from a 153 to a 154. Most likely it's going to be in the 154s onward and upward to the 158s. As you can see, a lot of those drivers are giving themselves some space before they go onto their flyer. And track limits here at Paul Ricard are very, very razor's edge. It could happen at any moment. While there is a lot of runoff area, there isn't a lot of give and take when it comes to the track limits. And one of those being is that initial Ballard that you'll see down the first straightaway, the final stretch, going into that left-hander. That is a very crucial spot, as well as this one right here on that right-hander going into it. Can't go too far. You can't cut the apex, and you can't go too wide. That's a 155.9. That's not going to be an impressive time, as we are going to see some drivers collect a lot more speed through that. As you see him going through that corner, someone's already clipped out that Ballard, and someone's already invalidated their lap. That's a 155 from Josh. Diego Moscato pulls off a 155.6. McKeesey with a 156.6. And Riley Menier, the one that's going to set the pace here for Paul Ricard is at a 154.2. Andy Oak with 158.2. And while we are at it, we are going to be starting with some statistics. I know nobody likes math, but here we go. Ed Kerstetter for Panzer Wall Motor version 2.0 sits at P4. Daniel Kaslassi of Southern Star Motorsports with a 156.7. That's Alsana Boiro from BRB Club at P7. That's Jeff Allen at P9 with a 157. Ali Raza comes in really hot for RHD Racing at a 156.1 flat. That's very good there. Then we have Constable Cody Wassom sitting at P8 with the IDRF Ruse Motorsports with a 156.8. It looks like a lot of these drivers are just going to have to improve a couple tenths to push out the competition. There's Professor Chronotis at a 156.3. Definitely going to be the speed you need here for this. We have Josh Willis already half a second off of his best time as he goes through that final lap, or that final stretch right there. You can see the runoff for the pit entry. That's not going to be fun. Josh Willis goes second fastest with a 155.3. Really, really good pace there. We have Jet Engelman. Wow, what a surprise there. One of the most beautiful liveries on the board here, going down the final, going down one of the straights here. Jet Engelman, aka Elroy Jetson Space Cowboy. Ooh, it goes a little wide there. Ooh, Avanti has to get out of his way there. That's a little rough. That's going to cause him some track limits there. He might pull over and try again there. He went fastest through Sector 2. And that was what I was going to point out there, is before he was getting done there, he went fastest. And that is very exciting from him. We have Ali Raza, who's going through the third sector. And look at that. Aaron Free crosses the line. And he goes 156 flat. Daniel Kaslassi with 155.7. Beating him out just that fast. You think you're going to celebrate, but then you get pushed down the line that quickly. Travis Valdez with a 155.5. That is P3 for him. Provisional P3. That is exciting to see. Ali Raza goes fifth fastest. Not able to improve too much there. Let's see where somebody's at. If they are pulling a good time. We have Eric Miller going through Sector 3. I expect to see big things from this driver, as Flying Lizard Motorsports has been doing very well the last couple races. We have Stefan Lindauer of the Lexus of the Sunstar Motorsports team. He is going to have to sit out with a qualifying ban, and I think this is his only one he has to do. I think for the 60-minute race, he's going to be able to maximize his potential during that race. Eric Miller goes across, and he only goes 3 positions up with a 158.6. He hasn't practiced a lot, so maybe that's just what we're coming down to. Riley Manier is going through Sector 3, right into that final straight. And he lost a little bit of time, about a 10th. Able to hold it off, though. Goes slightly faster. He's fastest in purple through all sectors. Josh Willis is going to accept where he's at with 142 seconds left to go. I don't think we're going to see a lot of improvement from any of these drivers. Oh, there we have Ed Kerstetter going across the line right now. And he goes second fastest. Look at that. That is Panzer Wallmotor putting in a 1-2 finish right there. While we still have a little bit of time left before this qualifying ends, we are going to see 2 of those drivers on the front row, front and second row. That is great news for those drivers and for that team. Ali Raza about to hit that final stretch, and he is 6/10 off his time right now. Now 5/10. He lost a little bit of time through that corner. A lot of these drivers have been losing time through that corner. He pushes across the line, and he goes 4th fastest. Look at that for RHD Racing. Travis Voldez is going to have another flyer lap for himself, so that's going to be great. A lot of these drivers are. We have Chronotis going through the final corner before the straight. I don't think he's going to improve upon that time. He actually just invalidated his lap. I told you it is very crucial to miss that apex on the right side, because if you go a little too far, it's going to invalidate your lap. So he's unable to improve upon his time there. We have Ed Kerstetter still going out for the final lap. Ooh, we have Jarek Snyder of Nest Motorsports is going to be rounding down that final corner, and we can see him already 9/10 off of his time. That is a fast improvement. With 157.9, he's going to see himself in at least the teens. As he goes 19th, that's still a massive improvement for this driver. So we have 30 drivers on the grid right now. And with Ed Kerstetter 2/10 up on his time, he's going to need a full 5. He's going to need a half a second at least to improve upon getting P1. And I don't think he's going to be able to do so, as he has 3/10 here. Going across the line, he goes 154.6. And like I said, he needs a full half second to really get at Riley Manier there. And we have Travis Voldez of the FAF Motorsports just joining the team. And he is improving upon his time. He is 4/10 fast, 5/10. Oh, lost a little bit through that final corner. A lot of these drivers are, and it's unfortunate, but he goes 5th fastest, pushing out Daniel Caslassie. And then you have Chris McKeesey invalidating his lap. That's unfortunate for him. Eric Gukassian going across the final stretch here, so we can see if he's going to improve upon his time. And he does. P13 for Eric Gukassian of Panzer Wallmotor. That is probably the best finish that I've ever seen out of the Panzer Wallmotor team. And as a unit, as a 3-man, that is fantastic racing there. As we have Eric Miller, the last driver to go across. And I believe he actually still is able to. He's 5/10 off his time. Let's see if he is able to improve. And it's Riley Manier, P1 provisional pole. He's going to be able to sit on there, and he just subscribed for 2 months. Thanks to him. Eric Miller improves, but only is able to go 23rd fastest. And there you have it, folks. That is the first quali of 2 qualies to go, and we are going to be setting up the 30-minute race. And then we'll be going into a 60-minute race. So it'll be 10-minute practice, 10-minute quali, and then a 60-minute race as we make our way. All right. I'm going to try to steady this up a little bit. I did drink a Red Bull, so I'm a little bit hyped up right now. Track is optimum. 34 degrees on the track, 26 off the track, 10-kilometer winds. It's sunny skies here in beautiful France, in the south of France. We have Adidas Parlay of Riley Manier on P1. Then we have Ed Kerstetter and Josh Willis in P2 and 3. Then we have the Ali Raza of RHD Racing on that Penrite. And you can see this new livery that they made for themselves, 9for9 Sim Racing, as well as Tracklicious Sim Racing, as they had added a new driver to that lineup. And a little bit of a change there. FAF Motorsports of Travis Valdez on the third row there. And then Daniel Cass lastly behind him in the Southern Star Motorsports. Take a good look at this Bass Pro Shops livery. It's pretty sick. It's one of my favorite ones on the, for sure. So they have that little SpongeBob Texas thing going on. Then Boyro on the BRB Club, right back there. And then this beautiful livery of the Constable Cody Wassam sitting there in the IDRF Racing, followed by a Flying Lizard Motorsports of Jeff Allen, or Aaron Free, actually. Sorry. And then this is Chris McKeesey in the Nest Motorsports, followed by Jason Provolone of Southern Star Motorsports, and then that's Professor Kronotis of the Adidas Parlay. They're going to be driving a driver down right now. So we have Eric Cassian, probably a best ever finish for him in P13, and that is a very impressive time. That just shows that this driver has been improving upon his speeds, and practicing has really made it count for him. And then you have Jeff Allen of FAF Motorsports sitting on P14 in that little Scottish livery. Then there's Andrew Pickrell, car number 33. And then, sorry about that. That was Diego Moscato up there at P7. This is Boyro and P16, followed by one of the Rogers brothers of DIR Racing. And then that's Reggie King in the RHD Racing, followed by Vandy of Omega Racing. Then we have Frederick Goupil of Nest Motorsports. And then D. Ward and Andy Oak. I believe I'm a little off here. Oh, sorry, that's Snyder, followed by Bravo, followed by Jet Engelman, and then Eric Miller, Frederick Goupil. That's Snyder in 20th and Frederick Goupil in 24th. Andy Oak in 25th. D. Ward in 26th. And then that's Mansilla in 27. Romulus in 28. Chen in 29 of the Morton Salt. And then the last Southern Star Motorsports, Stefan Lindauer, as we get this race underway. And we will be switching. It is mighty impressive to be seeing these drivers out on the track together. The Panzer Wall Motor team is really going to be pushing, as they need over a couple hundred points to get back into the contention for that that driver's or the team championship. Josh is only a few points off from Riley Manier for the driver standings. As they go down this long straight. If anyone's reminded of this, let's go right here. Oh, let's try to get to a driver. As Mansella goes through, it's very crucial you don't try to eat too much of that curb, because we saw this in real life. Michael Fassbender, or Michael Carbender, ended up hitting the left side of the wall because he ate a little bit too much of that curb, and it sent him a little wide, and the overcorrection wasn't there. So definitely got to be mindful when you're pushing flat out on that corner. And you got to be mindful of one of these drivers here as we go on board. We have Ali Raza sitting on the right side of the vehicle. He's going to be pushing 2 drivers in a team. A lot of team orders could happen there. Definitely want to be mindful of how to approach the attack. Ali Raza is a very fast-paced driver, so it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening through that first set of corners. And even Travis Voldez, another driver that's sure of himself to push a little aggressively. Let's see if he's able to maintain his craft through that first couple of corners. Somewhere that Daniel Caslasi of Southern Star Motorsports is going to be cruising by any incidents that occur in the top 5 there. So he is a very safe driver. As we get our way, that was a full formation lap as we are almost through this Sector 3. And while you guys are watching, if you have any suggestions for driver of the day based on what you're looking at, I think we're going to be saving it for the full doubleheader. We'll just do the full round. So anyone that's makes some good improvements through this race, we'll see if they still make those improvements in the second race. As we go green here at Paul Ricard, as we are pushing through this straight. It'll be really interesting. We see already that Ed Kerstetter is on the outside, and they go 3 wide through that. As Riley Manier loses a slight position there, I don't know if he's going to be able to gain it back. There's Josh Willis attempting to keep his defense there to Travis Valdez, as Ali Raz has already dropped 1 position. Ooh, that is everybody's still clean. Everybody's still good. The shakeup is occurring. We're still clean. We have Aaron Free and Andrew Pickrell, Flying Lizard Motorsports, both in contention there. Eric Cassian at P10 getting pushed out. Chronotis is on the outside. He beats him on the straight already. He's still got to watch out for Boyro as he is on the inside of that next corner. And Boyro goes past. Riley Manier on the outside. And that is Josh Willis on the inside. And he's might be able to stick this as they touch. Oh, they say rubbing is racing, but you never want to compromise another driver's stint. I don't think Josh Willis liked that at all. And we have Chris McKeesey fighting Daniel Caslasi through this next corner. Oh, and Ali Raza goes sideways as Daniel Caslasi, both of them push through. And Caslasi is still going to hold his position. And here's Josh Willis trying to go down to the inside line. Is he going to be able to hold it? He is not. Chris McKeesey, a 10th off. Daniel Caslasi still able to stick his spot. Constable Cody Watson just shortly behind him. We have Aaron Free and Andrew Pickrell, both of the Flying Lizard Motorsports, trying to get in there. Erica Cassian's holding up a strong defense. Travis Valdez on the P4. Somebody hit that Ballard right there. And that is going to be a track limit for one of those drivers. As Josh Willis is on the back end here. Let's go on board. What is happening? He's not going to be able to outpace him on the straight, as there's at least 10-kilometer difference here from these drivers. Ferrari's technically faster, but he's sitting in that slipstream, so maybe that's going to be his impetus to go forward. Oh, as he gets bumped by Travis Voldez. That is for sure an incident. Travis Voldez on a straightaway was able to catch up and bump Josh Willis. That's going to create some aero damage from that driver. He is not going to be happy about that. And it is still contentious. Riley Manier is only 2 seconds off of P1, of Ed Kerstetter, of Panzer Wallmotor. And these three drivers are really holding a strong straight line. Travis Voldez, a former teammate of Josh Willis, you'd think he would give him a little bit more room there, but he did not. We have Aaron Free already passing Eric Kassian for P11, and Andrew Pickerel is going to try to have a same go at him, as we have Chronotis on the back end of Constable Cody Wassam. He might be able to beat him on a straight if he wasn't fighting another Ferrari. And we have Jeff Allen fighting against Jet Engelman. That's a Porsche for Ferrari. We know the answer there on a straightaway, as these drivers are going to maintain a good distance on the straight racing line. Chronotis is on the attack, but Boyro, look at him down the inside. He's not going to be able to send it unless... No, he lets go. He lets off. And thankfully he does, because that looked a little too tight. A little too close for comfort. To Andrew Pickerel, and that is Eric Kassian sitting between a Flying Lizard sandwich. I would not like to be on the in the middle of that, as you have two very strong pace drivers really pushing against you, and that is track limits for Andrew Pickerel there, as he has gone wide through that straightaway, and that's going to give Jet Engelman all the room he needs to get ahead of him, as he is in that Ferrari in a slipstream. He's going to be able to push in on the inside. We might be able to see it. Let us hope. There he goes. Jet Engelman down the inside line. He passes Andrew Pickerel with some class. And that is the Flying Lizard Motorsport slightly out of contention. Says Jet is going to have another go at Eric Kassian on the inside line. I don't know. That might be a slight track. Eric Kassian goes wide. That is Andrew Pickerel ahead. Oh, no. He drops down one position, two positions. He is double wide with Eric Kassian. Andrew Pickerel goes ahead, and that is Pfaff Motorsports. Jeff Allen also trying to have a go. There's a lot of close racing right here, as these drivers are neck and neck down Sector 3, as Jeff Allen also wants to have a move on the outside line, but there goes Jet Engelman attacking that Ballard. That is a track limit violation for sure. Jeff Allen goes ahead. That is unfortunate for Jet Engelman. Hopefully he can find some pace after all that was said and done, as we have Jason Provolone. Oh, that's a real thing there. Is Stefan Lindauer from last place has already made up 10 positions. That is strong racing right there from that driver. As we have Jason Provolone of Southern Star Motorsports also too wide with the Snyder. That's Jared Snyder. That's Ness Motorsports. Two Ness Motorsports. Aggressive, as we have two Southern Star Motorsports and Ness Motorsports both attacking each other and defending. Jason Provolone goes ahead of both of them, as Lindauer has a little bit of a bump with Frederick Goupil. But we know where that Lexus is strong, and it is right here. Through this straightaway, he's already going ahead. Reggie King's going to try to have a go. Almost three wide there, but Lindauer's ahead of Frederick Goupil there. And Aaron Free also double wide, as he's trying to get ahead of Boyro. Doesn't have enough speed there, and he doesn't make it happen. Jeff Allen trying to have a go at Rogers. Whoa, and that is Rogers off into the deep end there. What a fantastic race. It's only 8 minutes into it, and we already have a lot of close racing. Oh no, that is Jet Engelman going towards the back of the grid as he spun out, I believe. Yeah, no contact made, but he is not doing so well there. We have Jose Bravo fighting Eric Miller for P21 right now as he goes ahead. Oh, goes off right now. That's Eric Miller ahead of him with a quick overtake. I think Aaron Free really wants to get by this driver as we have Andrew Pickrell slightly behind him in that Porsche as well. Now, that is a AMG Mercedes right there in front of him, so it's difficult to say where they're going to break away in attack. I would assume it's in these S's, as that would probably be the most maneuverable that the Porsche is going to get. Look at that, trying on the inside. A lot of action has happened on this straightaway using that slipstream. It has been absolutely fantastic. And there's Andrew Pickrell on the back end of his own teammate as he goes ahead. Oh, as they try to go double wide with the driver. They weren't able to make anything happen there, but Jeff Allen trying to make a good pace as he has two Southern Star Motorsports drivers of the Lexus behind him, and they are on the attack. It is good to see this pace out of Stefan Lindauer there, as he is now from the last of the grid. He goes up to P16 ahead of Provolone. From the back of the grid, from P30 to P16, he's already been massively impressive, as we have only 20 minutes left to go through the first half of this doubleheader. 0-0 Raven with the rating party of 7. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. We're just, a third of the way, 1/3 of the way into this first half of the doubleheader. We have a 60-minute race after this, and a lot of these drivers have been impressive so far. And as it stands, the driver with the fastest time on track is Riley Minier with a 154.9. That is 6 seconds faster than that is a second and a half faster than another driver, the fastest driver on track. And here's Aaron Free again, back at Boyro, hoping to make that overtake finally happen. So we'll go on board. They are side by side, and it looks like he has the inside line there, and he's going to cut in. Oh, and there's that surprise. Oh, no. Oh, no. Aaron Free and Boyro hit each other. And is Aaron Free going to give up the position? I don't believe he is. And that is going to be two Flying Lizard Motorsports drivers ahead of him. Boyro definitely does not like that. He is flashing his lights. And it would behoove Aaron to give up that position, if not only to let Boyro by, but just to give another attempt, as he did tap him on the inside right side there. I believe that was contact made by Aaron Free. Yeah, I don't believe he's giving up that position, and that is Boyro sitting uncomfortably behind two Flying Lizard Motorsports drivers, and that is it's a little unfortunate. You hate to see it, especially since we have a lot of racing left to go. And now this is a move that only Stefan Lindauer and a few others like to do, is flash your lights to put some mental games on the on some drivers, and I don't think it really works. But there they are doing it anyway. And while that is being said, we have Ed Kerstetter of the Panzer Wallmotor on the front end there, as you can see him zooming through. And Riley Manier of Team Adidas Parlay is in P2, only 7/10 off the driver. I don't think it's enough to make something happen here on this lap, but maybe in a few laps as we'll jump by and see Jason Provolone and Stefan Lindauer, same team in that Lexus. They're both pushing really hard to get something happening here with that Pfaff Motorsports Jeff Allen in P15. And there he is on the attack while defending against one of the Rogers brothers of DIR Racing. Oh, and there goes Lindauer down the inside. Now the outside. It's not enough to make something happen, but that was close. From that angle, it looked like Lindauer was going to be able to make something happen. And maybe we'll just go on board and see what's going on here. Oh, and there you have it. Goes by down the inside, is able to overtake. There goes Jeff Allen right behind him. You can see him in his mirrors. Oh, is that his Erica Cassian? Oh, no, that was Rogers left the field shortly. Erica Cassian's right there trying to maintain his craft as Lindauer goes down the inside line of him. Is that going to be all the room he needs? They are too wide. That is a Lexus and a Porsche, and the Lexus is definitely going to be pulling off a faster pace right there, even if it's just a few kilometers. And there goes Lindauer and Provolone, both trying to make a position happen here. This team started out strong at the start of this season, and they are showing themselves to be a force to be reckoned with again as they both push through the pack. Stefan Lindauer now in P12 from last place, and that is Jason Provolone right behind him in P14 as he is overtaking Erica Cassian with only Rogers in between them. That is wonderful. Low Andy, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it, man. Everybody here at Tracklicious is excited that we get more people watching us. And there was a short gap from Ed Kerstetter to Riley Manier with a half a second, but it looks like that distance has been broken with the pace of Ed Kerstetter, who has now pulled off the fastest lap of the session with a 154.846, and that is just 1/100th faster than Riley Manier with a .858. So just barely faster than him. But what a fantastic race. Erica Cassian, who started P13, is now P16, but man, has this driver been able to hold a strong defense with some pace to go with it. And there goes Boiro with a drive-through penalty, probably due to some track cuts. That is unfortunate from him, as we have Jet Engelman was in, had a little bit of a slip up, but he is going to be pushing through the pack again from one of the back of the grid here. So a lot of these drivers at the back of the grid are still really competitive towards each other, just trying to fight for position. Just need to get into the 20s, out of the 20s to get some points, as Reggie King is sitting at 20 with the last amount of points to gain, as Frederick Goupil is attacking Boiro, who already has a drive-through penalty. So it isn't within Goupil's. Oh, wow. And that is Boiro off into the side. And that is a lot of space for him to... I think this driver is going to call it quits and put himself in the pit. That is unfortunate, but that just gives position back to Frederick Goupil. as he's going to be P18 after he goes across that finish line. And we have Aaron Free on the very close to Chronotis, only half a second off. That is a very close battle taking place. 3/10 off now. And I think I'm going to go on board with this driver and see if something's going to happen here. And already we've seen a couple of these Porsches overtake the Ferraris on the straightaway, which is not something I thought I would be saying often, but there you have it. It's just about getting a good exit, and he has it. That is Aaron Free really close on the back end of Chronotis there, as he's going to be sitting inside this slipstream with the regulations as it stands with the rules. He could only adjust to 2 times. So he's going to stay on this defensive line on the inside and hope that that matters. But here goes Aaron Free on the outside, just not fast enough for anything to happen there. That is just great strategic positioning from Chronotis, keeping himself on the inside line on that defense. As we have Reggie King in the points at P19 attacking Frederick Goupil. And that is one of the only Bentleys on the grid there in that Penrite livery. What a wonderful livery to look at. And here goes Aaron Free again, P10. Really close to Free there. Sorry, Chronotis. And down the straight they go. Again, the positioning from Chronotis is really strong. I think he's just going to keep his car in the right spot versus actually trying to push ahead. He knows that Aaron Free has got pace. Oh, there he goes! Down the inside line through the S's. He gets ahead of him fast. It almost looked like there was no... like he slowed down, but that's definitely not what happened. But that was so quick. And there goes Aaron Free in P9 with his teammate Andrew Pickrell in P11. What a fantastic move and maneuver from Aaron Free as these Flying Lizard Motorsports drivers are getting themselves into the points. And then we have Riley Minier in P2. 9 minutes left to go on this race. And he is close as he's ever been. He's gotten this close before, but it's always through this sector, and it usually doesn't end up well. Kerstead is able to pull away through Sector 1. Definitely has some good Sector 1 times. And there goes Provolone right now on the outside of Rogers, P14. And the pace he has is strong enough to be just slightly above Rogers. They are pound for pound right now. Cheech, yeah, Provolone is definitely killing it. The Southern Star Motorsports are definitely killing it. We have Daniel Caslast sitting at P6. And then we have Stefan Lindauer in P12 coming from the back of the grid. And he is definitely going to be excited about the end of this race and where he finally ended up. He served a quality ban this race, so he was unable to put in a lap. Oh. And it looks like somebody put a small explosion in my eardrums, as that has definitely been noticeable for everybody as he's going down the inside line. Is he going to be able to stick that? Yes, he is. Going through this final corner down the straightaway. Is he going to be able to maintain this inside line? Oh, it doesn't look like it. Oh, no, Rogers goes off wide. Oh, it's so close. I think he's going to be able to maintain this. Rogers is having some difficulty maintaining his craft as Jason Provolone takes P13 away from him with 7 minutes to go. That's Jeff Allen on the back end of him, also going to have a go. And that is two Porsches about to attack each other. Wow, you did not expect that to happen so quickly. And there it happens. That is Jeff Allen just behind him by only 7/10. Now 2/10. I don't believe he's going to be able to make a pass, but look at him go. That is Travis Voldez on the back end of Josh Willis. Two Porsches going out at Pfaff Motorsports and Panzer Wallboulder. Travis Voldez down the inside line, cutting it close. Down the straightaway. This is the final stretch. Who's going to have the true... And that is Josh Willis able to maintain his spot. Let's see how it works out for Travis Voldez there. He is not going to be able to improve or overtake right there, but he is definitely pressuring this driver as he's going to go down the inside line, as a lot of drivers have done. Ooh, they were close. I think he has it. He sticks the inside line there, and then into the next turn. Through the S as they go, it looks like Travis Voldez is going to be able to take P3 from Josh Willis, as Diego Moscato is going to have a go at Daniel Caslessy, who's P5 right now. And through the straightaway they go is Travis Voldez going to be able to hold him off with almost 6 minutes left to go. They are only a 10th off right now. He's building that slipstream, and he's going to go down the inside line. They're going to go hand in hand. He doesn't have enough. Now they're side by side. And he's going a little faster than him, actually. And there he goes. What a calculated overtake, as Josh Willis is now back at P3. There's Diego Moscato, unable to do the same to Daniel Caslessy as Josh Willis just did to Travis Voldez. A little bit of a stutter, but I made sure I said it. All right. Sorry about that. We have Travis Voldez still. Oh, he's going side by side with this driver. I don't know exactly what. He's on the right-hand side, going in this right-hand corner. Josh Willis able to stick that inside line, something that Travis Voldez just did in the last lap, and Josh Willis maintains his position, and that might have been just a strong defense. Wasn't quite sure. We have Ollie Raz on the back end of Frederick Goupil, fighting for P18. 4 minutes left to go on this race. I wonder if he's going to make something happen right here. As a lot of drivers have done this down the inside line through the S's as he goes down that right-hander, quick left-hander. He's going to be able to maintain it as Frederick Goupil has to go off the outside of that. Oh, and there you have it. That's Ollie Raz ahead in P18. What a maneuver. As Frederick Goupil is not going to let him go. He's holding a strong straight line with him. Tight line, I mean. He's still 2/10 off. I think this Aston Martin is not done with the Bentley. But as I'm saying that, we have Diego Moscato of the BRB Club really still on the ropes with Daniel Caslessy, as they have shown to have an impressive driving style, as both of the BRB drivers have pulled off really strong times through quali. And just to pull away from that for a second, we have a side-by-side duel as Travis Voldez still holding P4 on the outside line of this straightaway. I think Josh Willis put himself in a good spot as Riley Manier has a drive-through penalty. Oh, my God. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact there. Travis Voldez goes wide. That is going to shake up the order. We have Andrew Pickerel on the inside line, or the outside line of Chronotis. He is now going to be pushing ahead. It's not enough to get ahead of him there, but through the S's, he might try to do the same thing as no. Chronotis is putting himself in the same position with a good defense. But Pickerel slightly ahead. It's not going to matter because that... Oh, there he goes. It does matter. He goes a little wide. But is he... he lost a lot of speed there. And that is Stefan Lindauer going to also try to have an attempt to attack him. That is unfortunate for Riley Manier. And Frederick Goupel also has a drive-through penalty at P19. Riley Manier cut some corners, and it made all the difference. Travis Voldez was able to overtake Josh Willis, but Josh Willis says, no, that position is mine, as he goes right back in to P3. What an exciting final laps here, as we have Josh Willis able to pull off a really strong position, and that is Riley Manier going to be dropping down from P2 to several positions possibly, as they are 20 seconds difference in time. He might be able to go through that drive-through penalty, as he is serving his drive-through right now. We have Travis Voldez 16 seconds behind. Josh Willis just ahead of him with 12 seconds. Riley Manier still going through that pit lane right now. He's about halfway through it. That's Josh Willis down the final straightaway. Riley Manier is almost out of this pit exit. Where is he at here? This is going to be close. They pass him. Oh, he goes past both of them. Travis Voldez picks up P3 as Riley Manier is pushing out of the pit lane right now, as several drivers have gone past him. That is P6 for Riley Manier. That has got to be an upset, to say the least. Drive-through penalty with the last lap ready to go. And there's Travis Voldez bumping Josh Willis, and I believe he's going to let him take that away just slightly. That was a little imperfect of a maneuver, as we have Diego Moscato still on the attack, 3/10 off of that driver right there. You can see there in the backfield, as I have broken the camera system here. And that's Rogers with a drive-through penalty as well. If you don't serve that penalty, I think it's a 30-second drop in your times. And that is Chronotis now back in P11 as Lindauer gets into the points. Get in there, Southern Star Motorsports. That is two of your drivers back on the top 10. That has got to feel good for these drivers, as Chronotis is only a 10th off this driver. He's going to try to pull the outside maneuver here, and we'll see if it works for them. Oh, no! Oh, God, that is Chronotis. You hate to see it. And there you have it. Ed Kerstetter, the Panzer Wallmotor 2.0 team, pulling through with a P1 finish. And that is some great points for the Panzer team, as we have Josh Willis going down that final line. P2 for him as well. That is great points for the team. That is a two-man finish. What a fantastic race, as Travis Voldez picks up P3. Daniel Cassassi of Southern Star goes across the line, and he picks up P4. Diego Moscato, P5. I'm not sure that actually counts. I'm not sure who ends up winning that one. I believe that's going to be, we have Riley Manier in P6, Chris McKeesey in P7, Constable Cody Wasserman P8, Aaron Free in P9, Stefan Lindauer goes in P10, Provlone in P11, Jeff Allen P12. What a fantastic race. Let's just go back to it. There's Allen 12, Pickerel 13, Chronotis 14, Snyder 15, Gukassian 16, Raza 17, Rogers 18, Vandy 19. Rogers did get that 30 seconds, and that he's actually going to drop down several positions because of that fact. War 20, Miller 21, Mansilla 22, Bravo 23, Goupel 24, King 25, Oak 26, Romulus 27, Chen 28, Boyro 29, and Jet Engelman 30. Rounding it off right there. That is such a fantastic race. And what an upset. As we have Travis Voldez, Josh Willis, and Ed Kerstetter all sitting there at the top of the grid. What an interesting race. Stick with us, everybody, as we are going to have a 10-minute free practice with all three drivers. We'll talk to them just in a second, and then we'll go into a 10-minute quali followed by a 60-minute race. So just stick with us as we are through the slight intermission and into quali. So with me, I have Ed Kerstetter, Josh Willis, Travis Voldez, in that order. Pole for Ed Kerstetter, P2 for Josh Willis, and Travis Voldez, P3. That's got to feel good, gentlemen. Ed Kerstetter, you had a strong battle with Riley Minier. He ended up getting a drive-through penalty towards the end of the race. Did that lift a lot of your angst, the anxiety that you're feeling through that race?
Yeah, for sure. That helped. He was catching me there at the end. And so when I saw the drive-through and I had 3 track cuts myself, I figured, okay, good. I can take it a little bit easier now.
Well, what a fantastic race! What a fantastic quali. He did start on pole. So down the first line, did you feel like you had just a stronger start? Is that what ended up pushing both you and Josh to be able to maneuver with him?
Yeah, I was surprised actually. I don't know if the way the cars stagger at Paul Ricard in the game is weird because I felt like I was almost ahead of him, like in the radar, right? Like
full car
when the
length.
green flag went, and I was in the green zone, so yeah, that helped. And then he was fighting with Josh behind, and I think Travis, and that helped build that initial gap. Because if he would have been, within a half second behind me on the first straightaway, he for sure would have blew by me with the low top end speed of the Porsche. So it worked out pretty good.
Well, you had great pace. Is there anything that you're gonna take into the next race with your with what you're doing already?
Yeah, the car felt a little stable, so I think I may just loosen it up a little bit. Try to lean towards a little bit more oversteery of a setup. I think it'll last a little bit better throughout the long run here with this hour race coming up. And then there's a couple spots on the track where I know I'm definitely losing to Riley. The second corner after the long straightaway for sure is one of them, so I got to work on that over practice and qualifying, see if I can share that up.
Well, it was a fantastic race that you showed us. Great job, great points for the Panzer Wallmolder team. And with that, I'm going to go to P2. That's Josh Willis. What a fantastic race. You must have been sweating. You made some maneuvers. You were battling Travis Voldez forever. And, I mean, between the two of you, you just kept swapping positions. Travis Voldez was able to pass you on the S's, and then you used his same maneuver against him on the next lap, as well as down the back straightaway there. Were you learning from him, or did you already know what to do and how to do it?
So with this track, I don't know it very well, so I kind of was learning from him as I was going. Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge, and battling with Riley there was tough, but I couldn't keep up with him after a while. So it was just fun to keep with Travis the whole race and make it really interesting.
Well, Josh, it was fantastic. There was a slight bump occurrence that happened towards the end of the race. It wasn't even that. Earlier in the race, probably like less than 10 minutes in, and I'll maybe open the floor to Travis with a response. But Josh, you were pushing against Riley Minier down the straightaway, and you guys were almost bumper to bumper. But Travis carried so much speed, he ended up bumping you a little bit.
The bump draft. It actually didn't help me as much because it gave me 2 seconds of damage. But it was good fun. It kind of helped, but kind of didn't.
Well, fantastic race, Josh. I hope to see you guys push out some more points in the second race there. Really fantastic finish from you. Solid racecraft. I mean, nothing could be said more. You guys had really clean moments. Few, bump moments, but I'll turn that to Travis. Travis, P3, that's got to feel great. You were pushing and pushing. You finished in the quali very strong. You made some good maneuvers right off the bat during against Ali Raza. What ended up happening with you as far as carrying that much speed through those corners that you ended up bumping Josh?
Yeah, so I think it's just a heat of the moment kind of thing. Overshot it a little bit going into the braking zone and gave him a little tap, but I think it was a light tap, so I wasn't too worried about it. And it was a fun race, and I really enjoyed battling with him the whole time. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations for getting P3. I know that it was a misfortunate incident that occurred for the Riley Minier that ended up jumping both of you ahead, but he had 23 seconds of space there, so it was just maybe enough to get him ahead. But clicking back and forth, I was literally going from like camera angle, like where were you guys? Where was he? And he just like right through. He was maybe 3/4 through the actual straightaway when you guys just bombed past him, and I was like, oh, that's unfortunate. He doesn't get it, but you guys really pulled off one of the most, I would say, calculated battles on the field, as there were a lot of them happening. Your guys' was one almost most impressive, but I'm not going to give you the top mantle for that one, unfortunately, as we have thank you to the top three for joining me. Really appreciate it. Travis, what a great finish for you as well. But I'm also going to introduce Stefan Lindauer of the Southern Star Motorsports team. I was sweating in anticipation to see where you're going to end up in this race. You started from last place with a quality ban, but you put it in there and you got into the points. That's got to help your confidence as a driver in this Lexus, does it not?
Lexus definitely fared it better than I thought it would, especially considering Sector 3. Yeah, I honestly just passed where I wanted to, made sure I didn't or wasn't too aggressive. I know I had a decent little bumper back and forth with Frederick. Or
Gupel, yeah.
I think that's, yeah. And he was a little aggressive. I might have been a little bit aggressive back. We'll see what the stewards say about it. But other than that, I just passed where I wanted to.
Yeah, and with your teammate, you were able to kind of power through the pack. I mean, going from last place to finishing, I believe it was P10, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that is in itself a strong feat, but the way you were maneuvering through the traffic, just pushing ahead, you had the confidence to maneuver when you needed to, and you kept a strong racecraft through it when there was some questionable moments. With Provolone right behind you, and Daniel Caslessy in P4, I believe, is he?
I believe it was 4.
Yeah, P4 for him. That's got to be not only strong points for the team, getting where you guys were before. I think at the start of the league, the season, you guys were at strong pace and had great momentum. Do you feel like this is going to build the momentum going forward into this next race and into the season?
It should definitely build the momentum off of into this the second parter, but I just hope we'll keep this momentum going through the rest of the season. I know we really faltered, absolutely dropped the ball from around race 3 until about now. So hopefully we can learn from our mistakes. Put our efforts all into one and push on through for the rest of the season.
Well,
I know this is definitely one of my better tracks on the season. Kind of really not wanting to have another quali ban for this race, but yeah, it is what it is.
So you have to serve another one as well?
Or at least for the second half of this race.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope to see the
we'll
same result.
We'll see what happens in the future.
With 60
I
minutes.
Can't comment now if I don't know.
Yeah, with 60 minutes to go, I think we're going to see another impressive feat from you. I think where your strategy was in this race will definitely show even a more stronger position next race.
I know we'll be cutting it tight on fuel in the Lexus is already real bad on its tires, so I don't exactly know how exactly I'm gonna fare for this second race.
Well, Lindauer, I hope for the best because you're one of the card favorites for me. I like seeing those orange cars go ahead of everybody and really just work as a team. So I can't wait to see what happens. Appreciate your time and good luck on the race.
Yeah, you too.
Mhm. And there you have it, folks. That is it. We have 36 seconds left before quali starts. So just stick with me as we enter this 10-minute quali and then a 60-minute race. Should be a very exciting race. As I'm going to push it over to... okay. While we are waiting here for quali to start, just quickly, we have Riley Minier in the driver standings of this season, this 2021 fall event championship series. He is in P1 with Josh Willis close behind in P2, Ed Kerstetter in P3, Andrew Pickrell in P4 of Flying Lizard Motorsports. So you saw all those drivers really pushing the pace of those cars, and it kind of really shows where they were at. Mike Burkhoff has dropped out of the series, so P6 is Chris McKeesey. Mitch McConnell has not been here tonight, but Pfaff Motorsports, he is going to be P6. Richie Geroloman is going to be in P7. Andrew Honorud Sundar is going to be in P8. Jeff Snyder and Ness Motorsports is going to be in P9. Ollie Raza's in 10. So if you're looking at the board, all these people are jumping up one in the grid. Standing is Ollie Raza 10, Wassam 11, Lindauer is in 12 right now. And he's very close off from Constable Cody Wassam, who just finished ahead of him. And we are going to be starting this qualifying session. Let's see who exits out first. And it looks like it's going to be Josh Willis. So we'll stick with him as he goes out on his outlap. As I'm going to still briefly pull to this, we have Eric Miller in P13. Crowhaven-born has been, new name is Frederick Goupil, and he's in Ness Motorsports, that Google livery that you were looking at. And he's going to be in P14. Daniel Cassassi is in 15. Jeff Allen 16. Granotis 17. Provolone 18. Aaron Free 19. Ray Frias in 20. Diego Moscato in 21. Erica Cassian in 22. Spool is in 23. Barrera 24. King 25. Vassal 26. Nyber 27. Engelman 28. Boyro 29, technically. And as we go down the list, so you can see some of these drivers carrying some points. So Rogers brothers are down there in the 42s. We still have a lot of drivers in this championship. As well as the team standings, we have a Team Adidas parlay. Let me just move that up a little bit. With 603 points over Panzer Wall Motor of 448 points. Now, the race winner is going to get 30 points, and I believe 20 points after that for the P2. So since they got P1 and 2, Josh Willis and Ed Kerstetter are going to push a lot of points towards the Team Diaz parlay there, as they did not finish within the top 10. I think Riley was P6, maybe. Flying Lizard Motorsports got some good points in the top 10, as well as Ness Motorsports just shy of those as well. DIR Racing in the top 20. IDRF in the top 10 and 20 for them. Oh, sorry, only top 10 finish for them. Southern Star Motorsports had a top 10. 2 drivers finish in there. That was Daniel Cassassi and Stefan Lindauer, and Jason Provolone just slightly out of it. So Pfaff Motorsports just shy there. Jerry Shirk has been replaced by Travis Voldez, so they got some good points for that team as well. As well as BRB Racing that had some incidences that occurred, that drive-through penalty, and then going off into that sent one driver off, and then Diego Moscato was still able to hold P5 for the team. RHD Racing, Vali Rasa and Reggie King did really good. And then we got Morton Salt, McLaren, and Iron Force Porsche Racing. So good on all of them, as we are going to be sitting in this. Let me just pull this up. Josh Willis is on his flyer right now. And I believe that is a Aaron Free right behind him. So we will pull out to a good track cam here. And while we're at it, let's just see. This is Josh Willis's flyer. Maybe we'll take an onboard look and see how Josh Willis is actually taking these lines. There he goes. He's going to be going down the final straight. This is the 14th turn, and you saw that little yellow Ballard. You definitely don't want to hit that, as that would definitely offset you there as he goes across. He is provisional pole with a 155.9, but that's not going to be fast enough, as we know a lot of these drivers have been able to get to 154. Aaron Free is right behind him with a 156.6. As Riley Menier goes across with a 154.3. He has gone faster in the last quali, so we'll definitely see a shakeup. Chris McKeesey with a 155.8. Jeff Allen with 156.6. And while we are getting there, let's pull this up. You can take a look. Purple means they are doing the fastest overall with the fastest sector times as well. Riley Menier holding each sector as the fastest sector so far. Riley Menier is also on an invalid lap, so that's going to be unfortunate for him. This is going to be an outlier for him, as we have Jarek Snyder going across the line. He's P11 right now with a 157.7. Travis Valdez with a 156 flat. That puts him at P4. Boyro at P7 with a 156.7 as well. Andrew Pickerel with 156.8. Constable Cody Wasson with a 156.9. Reggie King with a 157.3. Daniel Caslassie of the Sunstar Motorsports is in P11. And there's Chet Engelman getting in there in the points. IDR Motorsports, that beautiful driver in the beautiful livery. 157 flat. He's really pushing it in there. As Aaron Free going fast this way. 3/10, almost 4/10. He gained some time through that through sector 3 right now. Let's see if he's able to pull off a faster pace. Oh, wait. Right in front of him, though, is Josh Willis. He's going faster by 7/10. Is it going to be enough? Josh Willis, P2, beating out Chris McKeesey. And that is Aaron Free going across the line. Only holds P5 as he capitalizes on his position. Travis Rodell's 4/10 faster right now. As you looking at the green on the screen there, that is delta negative, which means they are going faster than their previous lap. Red means that they're on an invalid lap, or their delta is really high. Right now we have Jeff Allen on an invalid lap. Riley Benier on another invalid lap. Travis Valdez goes third fastest. Wow, what an exciting thing for him. Ed Kerstetter finally getting out of the pit lane right there. Or that's Eric Kukassian, actually. That's Eric Kukassian just getting out of the pit lane for Panzer Wallmolder. We only got 3 minutes left to go. He's going to have to get one. He's going to only have one valid lap in, as we have Jarek Snyder going across the line here, and he goes 11th fastest. And this is Jet Engelman, already a full second and a half faster. 1.3 technically. He's definitely going to be pulling into the top position with that kind of speed. Hopefully his sector time is going to improve through sector 3. He's going through the final corner, actually, on screen through the straightaway. Jet Engelman going fast. P5 for Jet Engelman. Wow, that is an impressive feat for this driver. Car number 747, as he is going to pull off and count his blessings with the top 5 drivers all on invalid laps. They are going to have to push to beat out their times there. So we have Reggie King, Ed Kerstetter going across the line, holds P2 with a 154.498. That is a full, almost, that's a, that is just 2/10 off of Riley Minier. And he's going to have to show some real pace to beat him on this next couple laps. As he's going to have 2 laps remaining. So he's going through Sector 1. He's definitely going to get a second attempt at that. He is fastest through Sector 1. He's losing a lot of time in Sector 2. He's actually losing a full 2/10 in Sector 2, as well as another 2/10 in Sector, almost 2/10 in Sector 3. And why he's so close to Riley Minier is in Sector 1, he holds a 31.497, and Riley Minier holds a 31.794. So that's a full 3/10 difference. So he's able to lose out significantly in 2 separate sectors and still be that close, as Riley Minier is not pulling really good sector times in the same position. As looking at the board here, we have Chronotis, who's on a valid lap going through Sector 3 with a last of 157.3. He's already 8/10 up on his time. Actually lost a little bit of time through that final corner. He's losing all of his time. He's actually positive on his delta. As he's going to go across the line, he's not going to improve upon his time. That is going to be a P19 finish, but he's going to have 1 more lap to go, as he still has 24 seconds left on the clock. So we'll see if he can't improve upon his time. As Ed Kerstetter goes across the line, goes P1. Wow. Pulling out a faster Sector 3 time, maintaining his Sector 1 time. He goes a 154.153. That is impressive. What a feat. Taking out some cones to, praise his moment. That is Ed Kerstetter on provisional pole, everybody. Diego Moscato coming in out of nowhere with a P3 finish from him, as he goes a 155 flat. Josh Willis, unfortunately, is not going to improve on an invalid lap. He's going to hold P4, as Ali Raza sits at P5, just 1 position off of where he started last race. This is a 60-minute race, so anything can happen, and anyone can end up anywhere. It happens all the time. Last Sunday, it was that way. Andrew Pickrell picking out the top 10. Ooh, as the driver just pushed ahead of him. I think that was Boyro. Boyro finished P8, but Andrew Pickrell is going to be P10. Jet Engelman with a fantastic finish to his race, or his quali, was P5, pushed down by a lot of fast-paced drivers. As you can tell, we have Diego Moscato all the way from P3 all the way to Constable Cody Wasserman P11, all in the 155s, and that is a full second in a gap between these drivers. We're going to see a lot of close driving from them. From 12th to 19th, we have 156 place drivers. So that's a lot of fast-paced drivers there. As Chronotis goes across the line, he goes 17th fastest, able to improve out of the 20s there. So that is a strong improvement from Chronotis, as Lindauer is still serving a mandatory a quali ban. So he will start from the back of the grid. Let's see if he can improve upon that. What a fantastic finish to qualifying. And there you have it. Very fast pace from these drivers. All right. It's a little bit of a complication trying to get that going. And everybody just stick with me as we got 2 minutes 45 seconds left to start this race. I'm gonna briefly go over some of these. Ooh, that looks a little off, doesn't it? That's better. There you have it. We have two of the Panzers on the first and second row there, with Diego Moscato on that second row. Gas Foot Mike, nice to meet you guys. Hey, nice to join us here as we have Stabil TY Pen _ TV. Thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Man, woman, anything. They. We accept everybody here. That is Riley Manier sitting on the starting grid where Ed Kerstetter was. This last race, roles were reversed, and somehow Kerstetter was able to get into a better position based on that. So let's see what ends up happening through that first corner for those drivers. As we have Josh Willis in P4, Ali Raza in that Penrite Bentley in P5 in car number 30. That is going to be Travis Voldez of Pfaff Motorsports in that Scottish little livery there, and that is car number 77 in P6. That is Chris McKeesey in the Google livery there as P7 for him, Boyro and P8 in the BRB club. So that's two of the BRB clubs, pretty high up there, as well as the Panzer Wallmolders. And then you have rounding it out for the top 10, or almost top 10, Constable Cody Wassam and Jed Engelman in those IDRFs, those purple liveries. Ooh, they are beautiful. The BMWs are not in this race, but they are in the GT4 race. Those are going to be the Naps Motorsports team, and that's from the GT4 series that happens on Thursdays. And that is the Flying Lizard Motorsports of Andrew Pickrell rounding out the top 10. The DIR Racing team, car number 47 of Rogers. And then that is Aaron Free in P13, car number 99. And that is as well as Daniel Casless in P14 in the Bass Pro Shop Southern Star Motorsports team. Pfaff Motorsports in 15 as well. It's car number 10 of Jeff Allen. And right behind him is Jason Provlone. So these two Southern Star Motorsports teams are the drivers are going to be right next to each other. Diaz Parlay in the back there. This Omega Racing in front of us with that nice little livery. And another Penrite. We're about to start in 7 seconds. I'm just going to scroll a little faster here. So we have another Ness Motorsports Panzer Wallmolder, and behind that is D Ward of Azuri Racing. It's got a nice little touch to it, I think. A little branchy. Morton Salt in car number 97 of Austin Chen, and Stefan Lindauer, who might hold driver of the day, coming from last place to getting into the points at P10 in a 30-minute race. We're going to be seeing these drivers exit the straightaway here as we start our formation lap. No BMW on the GT4 or GT3 series. I believe there's no BMWs. Pull ahead. The BMWs and the Camaros from the they are the kind of the movers and shakers of the GT4 series, as they are pulling off some really impressive times. As we have Ed Kerstetter in P1. This is a formation lap, so the 60-minute race is about to start. Good morning from Germany. Good morning from the States, Washington State, as for me. It's good to see you guys are up, had your coffee. Go to BRB Club. So we have Diego Moscato in the Mercedes AMG. And that is a good finish for them, as both drivers are in the points right now. They're one of the two teams right now in the top 10 that are in the points. We have Ed Kerstetter and Josh Willis in P1 and 4, as well as Diego Moscato and Boyro in P3 and 8. And that is Boyro right there in car number 14. And then rounding it off, there's no other teams that are in the points together, no other drivers. just to give you a little bit of a context here, we have a lot of drivers in the Ferrari, Porsche. The McLarens are in the back of the pack right now as far as where they're at. Got a few McLaren drivers. Just a couple Bentleys on the board and the Lexus as well, and that's car number 14 of Daniel Kaslassi, Provolone, and Lindauer. These, yeah, the consistency of what happened with the last race of these Panzer wall molders. Josh Willis getting P2, Ed Kerstetter was P1 in that 30-minute race, so it'll be great to see if they can pull off some good moves here. So we had Eric Kukasian, who's sitting at P23, unable to set a qualifying lap, I don't believe, but he was in P13 on his qualifying lap of the last race. So very impressive to Eric Kukasian, as he now holds about 10 grid difference this race. Maybe we'll see him make some moves. We're going through Sector 3. Everyone's just warming up their tires. And yeah, so what a sight to look at. These liveries really just like kind of, you know, everybody here has a custom livery besides the DIR Racing, I believe, and even so, you got some very colorful choices. One of them on track, is we're going to go down the final straight. I'm going to pull this back, and we're going to go helo cam for just a little bit to take a look at the overhead to see and make sure everybody's going to be cleanly through this. So we'll sit on Diego Moscato. So we are green, green, green. Ed Kerstetter already getting away pretty nicely as he had a great start off right there. He's going to take that racing line down that first corner. McKeesey has a drive-through penalty. Oh, that is unfortunate for him. He must have started slightly outside of his box, or it was just a miss right there. As Riley Menier hits that Ballard. That's an invalid spot right there already on the track limits. Ali Raza sitting right there on the... is McKeesey losing a position to Travis Vidal's almost close. They're double wide right there. Josh Willis hits. Oh, no, he hits. Oh, God. As both the BRB Club drivers go down. That is unfortunate. Looks like Boyro is able to maintain his craft. Both the drivers. Moscato also comes back at it. Cornotis is off the track. Oh, that is unfortunate as they take P7 and 8, I believe. No, they're back at 20th. They are down the grid. Oh, that's unfortunate. Josh Willis, I think just slightly in the back end of that driver, really dropped both the BRB Club drivers to the back of the grid. Oh, you don't like that happening that often, as we're going to switch cams now. Jed Engelman's a little wide right there, as both these drivers are going to have a go at him, as Andrew Pickrell ahead. Josh Willis loses 2 positions through that. That is Lindauer from last place to already P13. This driver might get driver of the day based on his performance right now. Some unfortunate incidences that occurred for other drivers really put it together for him. That's Diego Moscato off into the corner. He goes into the pits. That is unfortunate. There's another driver also in the pit lane. Whoa. We have Jason Provolone going side by side with Aaron Free. He's the last of the Southern Stars, sitting at P13, trying to push ahead. He's got the pace to do so. Not right there, as Andrew Pickrell is going to try to have a go at Josh Willis. Flying Lizards Motorsports down the inside line. Doesn't have enough. He doesn't stick it in. Chris McKeesey goes into the pit. Eric Cassian also in the pit lane. Chris McKeesey served his drive-through penalty, is leaving the pit lane right now. As car number 93 also has a racing incident. That's Austin Chen. Oh, and the pace is not there anymore for Andrew Pickrell as he is now a little bit behind. Looks like someone hit that cone. Daniel Kaslasky only 2/10 off of Travis Voldez, who fell down a couple positions at the start of this race. Daniel Kaslasky's going to have a go at him. Down the inside line, he's faster. That Lexus has its... It just knows where it's at on this grid right now as all three drivers of the Southern Star Motorsports are pushing ahead. Love to see that that orange livery just pop ahead. Ed Kerstetter was overtaken by Riley Manier. Yikes. Unable to look at that one. There's a lot of action happening on this grid. The speed of the Ferrari definitely paces itself on the straightaways. As they're going through Sector 3, there's a little bit of a gap forming. There's a lot of things happening. We have Stefan Lindauer already in P11 from P13. He is pulling off an impressive race with only 5 minutes at the start of this race in. We have Stefan Lindauer already showing that he deserves driver of the day. Let me know in the comments where you think who the driver of the day should be. We have an impressive feat from last place of last race in the 30-minute race. Stefan Lindauer was able to get to P10, pushing through the entire grid. Look at him break a little bit perfectly through that inside line, overtaking. Oh, it's a little bit of a side swipe from Constable Cody Wasson, but Cody Wasson's a very safe and consistent pace driver. He lets him have that. As it looks like he just pushed him a little wide. That is P10 for him already. Ed Kerstetter, 3/10 off of this driver ahead of him. Let's see if he's able to make a move, go on board with this driver. Now, like I said, the Ferrari just has a lot of pace, about 10 kilometers an hour faster through a straightaway with no aero package changing. And there you have it. Nothing's changed there. We're going to need... I think we're going to see a change on the S's. Josh Willis, side by side with Ali Raza for P3. He's already ahead of him. Does he have the inside line, though? No, he doesn't. Runs really wide right there, so definitely loses that position back to Ali Raza, but he's trying to hold there. As we have Travis Valdez fighting for P9, defending against Stefan Lindauer down the inside line there. He's going to go ahead. Oh! A little bit of a contact. Oh, no! And there's more contact. Travis Valdez taps Constable Cody Wasson on accident. That's a racing incident, but he maintains his craft. That is 188 down the positions. Daniel Kaslasky gets ahead as well. This is a unfortunate moment as Constable Cody Wasson, if I had to put a pin on it, where is this driver? He dropped down to P11. And Kaslasky gets ahead. He's pushing Jet Engelman there for P7. Stefan Lindauer in P9, right behind him by 6/10 as well. That is a excellent performance from these drivers in the Bass Pro Shops livery right there. As Josh Willis is only a 10th off of Ali Raza in P3. That Penrite Boatley you see right there. That's right, I said Boatley. It's a Bentley. It's also a boat. It's higher than almost everything else on the grid. Through the straightaway, is he going to be able to make a move down the inside line? Now these drivers only get one opportunity to defend and swipe back into the racing line, and he doesn't necessarily even need to do that as he holds a lot of good speed going through that corner. And there's Daniel Kaslasky trying to have the same go as Jet Engelman goes super wide. That is off the track right there as they have another incident. Contact with Stefan Lindauer and Jet Engelman. Oh no, both the IDRF have been bullied out of position a little bit by these drivers, but Southern Star Motorsports is pushing ahead as they are not going to let that little bit of a racing incident stop their pace as they push now into the top 10. Lindauer P8, Daniel Kaslasky P7. What a upset there. So we have Ed Kerstetter going down the final straight here, going into turn 1. Is he going to be able to make a maneuver? He doesn't. Now, it's got to be said, Josh Willis trying to have a go at it. Ali Raza down the inside line. He pulls back into that racing line. He doesn't have a go at him. If he's going to use the same tack as he did last race, he's going to make a move in the S's down the inside line. And a little bit too far away. Travis Voldez dropped down to P11 from the top of the grid there at P7, P8. He's going to now push ahead of Jet Engelman through the inside line. He doesn't have it. He tries to stick his nose in, but he's still not there. As Jet Engelman's on the outside line, loses that position to Travis Voldez, who took the inside. And there's another bump from Aaron Free. Jet probably doesn't like that action right there, as we have Provolone fighting at P13. Oh, and we have Aaron Free side by side going up against him. Oh, that's Jeff Allen. Sorry. Jeff Allen of Pfaff Motorsports having a go. Josh Willis down the inside line. Does he have it? He's sticking his nose in like he has it. And there you go. He's on the inside line. But is that enough to go through this? Ali Raza still holding a great line going through this corner. Oh, that goes to Josh Willis as he takes P3. Is he going to be able to maintain it is the real question there. Ugh. Ed Kerstetter getting real close to Riley Manier is car number 44. What is that? Jason Provolone is in P11 from P13. Car number 44 of Reggie King had an incident, so it seems, as Jason Provolone takes out the top 10 with all 3 Southern Star Motorsports drivers sitting in the top 10. That is the only team on the grid to say so. And there you have it. With 10 minutes into this race, that is an impressive feat. They've had a lot of bad luck through the middle of this season, and I think they started strong. They had great pace. They were the top. They're actually number 1 in the team championship, and they have dropped down to number 7 in that championship. This is unfortunate for them. Travis Voldez only a 10th off of Vandy here, as he's going to try to have a go at him. He has dropped 2 positions so far. He was P11. Even earlier, he was P8. And that is unfortunate, but Jeff Allen, Travis Voldez of the Pfaff Motorsports are definitely going to try to use their team advantage, being right next to each other, to push and bully their way through the track. We have Andrew Pickrell at P5. Now he has a run at Ali Raza. Is he going to be able to hold it off? Pull it off? They are side by side. It's anyone's guess. And there you have it. With a clean overtake, Andrew Pickrell goes P4. And it doesn't look like Ali Raza wants to give it up. Is he still on the attack? Ed Vandy has a go at E. Vandy. I don't even actually know his first name. I just said Ed. He is 3/10 off of this driver, but he's going really wide through that corner, so I don't think that's going to really help him through this one. So he is just slightly behind Jet Engelman. And good for Constable Cody Wassam, who's picked back up to P8, who dropped down just a little bit from a racing incident going through that final corner. But it's good to see that he's back in the fight. Ed Kerstetter, P2, won the last race. He is 3/10 off this driver. We saw Riley Manier take a drive-through penalty last race, and hopefully we're going to see him kind of learn from some of those incidences that occurred and really just try to maintain his solid racecraft, as he has this driver really on the just itching away at him. Riley Manier was the winner of the Enduro race from last weekend on Sunday, as we were at Bathurst in the rain. Yeah, that's in itself some pain to be felt, but he was able to hold off Ed Kerstetter for that entire race. His pit strategy was a lot different, which actually helped him. Ed Kerstetter definitely didn't have the correct tire pressure setup. That was his comment to why he was unable to push towards. We have Daniel Kaslassi in P14, who dropped down the positions. I'm not sure why, but he was up there next to Lindauer. So a mistake might have occurred from car number 59, and car number 77 and 59 had contact, and that is Travis Voldez, who's in the bottom of the pack. Oh, that is unfortunate for that driver. Travis Voldez starting on the top 10, dropping to 11, dropping to 13. He's now at the back of the grid. Yeah, hate to see it. You hate to see it. The H2O. So we have we're about 14 minutes into this race. We have Stefan Lindauer of Southern Star right up on the heels of DeMarcus Rogers. Now, the Rogers brothers, one of the Rogers brothers isn't here. I think it's Demetrius and DeMarcus Rogers. I know DeMarcus, but forget the other brother's name. They have shown some strong pace in the last couple of races that they were in. So it's great to see this driver's holding P6 very steady as Lindauer goes a little wide right there. Doesn't let him close the gap as they both go by Rogers. That's Constable Cody Wassam and Lindauer now holding P6 and 7. As Vandy of Omega Racing, probably his best ever finish or standing right now in the race, right as it goes along, he's in P12. I can't think of a time when that was where it was. We have the two race leads of car number 27 and 28, about a second off each other. Ollie Raza's 0.3 off of Andrew Pickerel. Now, it should be noted, if anyone's just tuning in, this is a race where all these drivers will have to make a mandatory pit stop, and that could make all the difference in the shakeup of this race. A lot of undercutting might be done. Some overcutting's definitely going to be in the realm for the top, I'd say top 5 drivers for sure. But with this race being sunny skies for the next 10 minutes, I don't foresee the cloud coverage coming into effect in this race, as we've had a lot of rainy races recently. The track's temp is 31 degrees with the 8-kilometer-an-hour winds to the northeast, southeast. Still optimum track, so nobody's losing grip, you'd think. And as we have Ed Vandy, only 0.4 off this driver. That is off of Jed Engelman in front of him. Now I'm just going to call it now. I don't think I've ever seen a more impressive finish, except a couple races ago when another driver was able to go from last to top 10, but only was able to pull off the top 10. We have Stefan Lindauer, who's now P6 from the back of the grid. That in itself is a very strong performance. With 43 minutes to go, we're definitely going to have to see something very interesting happen for another driver to be awarded Driver of the Day over Stefan Lindauer, who was pulled off 2 impressive feats from the last race and now this race. You're welcome to submit your thoughts on Driver of the Day. Now, just like the Formula One race today, we have Ed Kerstetter and Riley Manier going into Sector 1. We have Josh Willis 16 seconds back from P2. So it's definitely a lot like what happened today at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, where Checo was way behind. Ooh, what is happening there? Ooh. Just shy of catching that one. Sorry there, folks. E. Vandy was able to get ahead of Jeff Allen for P13 through that straightaway. Oh, through the yeah, through Sector 1. We have DeMarcus Rogers, who dropped back a couple positions, is going to have another attack at Constable Cody Wassam, who did get ahead of him over a mistake that happened in Sector 1. Sector 2, technically. And Chronotis is going to go down the inside line of Jeff Allen. Is he going to be able to maintain that? His nose is out way ahead of him, so there he goes. Cleanly ahead for P14. That is some good points for Adidas Parlay, as they're going to need it, as they are holding the team championship right now in points. Jet Engelman down right behind Jason Provolone in P10, as Daniel Kaslassi is in P12 right behind him. So something awry definitely happened on the track that we weren't paying attention to, but those drivers were holding some strong pace. All three drivers being in the top 10, and now only 2 of them are there, with Kaslassi shortly behind by 4 seconds flat. And there goes Jeff Allen again. He's going to have a go at Chronotis. If he can stick his nose out through the S's, he might be able to get ahead of him. But with that braking marker right there, he does not pull through. You hope to see something happen. Is Jet Engelman is going to have a go. He's on the outside line of Provolone. He's got to get way further ahead than that if he's going to want to take this to him. He's technically ahead, but going through this inside line, you know, traditionally Jets had a couple incidences keeping it straight through that. He still maintains P11, but had a slight chance, and that is just a good defense by Jason Provolone, sticking to the inside line. And it actually gave the room for Daniel Kaslassi to go ahead, because he's now only 3 seconds behind his teammate. As we have Ed Kerstetter 6/10 off of Riley Manier. And with that being said, Jet Engelman's going to try to maybe poke his nose out again. He doesn't, but he gets close. He's only a 10th off. Jeff Allen's going to have a go at Chronotis. Again, these drivers are just sticking their car in the right place on defense. Although he goes wide, and boom, there goes Jeff Allen ahead of him. That little mistake cost Chronotis a lot of time there, as Jeff Allen is pushing ahead in a clean sweep through the S's. And even if he wants to battle that, there's just a lot stronger pace coming out of Jeff Allen right now, as he takes that apex perfectly, going through, maintaining good track limit. It's right there. With a half-second gap, Chronotis is gonna definitely have to really slide in that slipstream if he wants to try to get past him, and he's going for it right now. Let's go on board and see if that is what's gonna occur. Is he gonna try to stick it down the inside line? There's a little bit of space. Brakes a little later than normal, I think. He does, because he is all wide through that, but he maintains. There you have it. Looked like a slightly risky move by Chronotis, but it paid off, and he is now ahead of Jeff Allen again. That is Ed Kersetter still holding P2 with Josh Willis 21 seconds behind. Now, all these drivers will have to make a mandatory pit, and that pit stop usually takes about 25 seconds. So Josh Willis, being 21 seconds behind, is going to be overtaking his opponents there if he indeed does that. Or being teammates, they might try to change pit strategies. Maybe Josh go for the undercut and Ed Kersetter go for the overcut. We won't quite know exactly what they're going to do. Daniel Cass, as he goes straight ahead of Vandy there, as Vandy went a little wide through the that first corner. Daniel Cass, as he's ahead at P12 with Jet Engelman ahead of him and Provolone right there. Oh, and we have another strong battle on track happening, as we have Stefan Lindauer on the attack of Ali Raza. Ali Raza's been very patient this race, as he was last race, maintaining his craft and not really making any mistakes, just really not placing his car at the right place on the straightaway is what got him 2 overtakes happen on this driver. As Lindauer's now 3/10 off of him. Ed Kersetter is also 3/10 off of him. Down the straightaway they go. I don't believe Kersetter's going to make any rash decisions, as we still have, more than half a race to go. Now Kersetter was saying that his car was through this setup, it was a little stiff, and he was going to loosen it up a little bit for this next race. I wonder if that was something he did, and is it beneficial to him? Although he hasn't made any major moves on these drivers. And Gasfoot Mike, thank you for the follow, man. Everybody here at this community appreciates it. We have Ed Kersetter 3/10 off of Riley Minier. Looks like these two are still going to be battling very strongly. So we have not had a single driver go into the pit lane to serve the mandatory pit requirement. One driver had a drive-through penalty. So we have Lindauer 3/10 off of Ali Raza as well. Now, whoa, a little bit of a game glitch, I believe. Putting that car in 2 places at once. Ed Kersetter down these straightaways, he's getting close. 2/10, 1/10 off, but it's definitely not going to be enough to carry himself ahead of this driver, as Riley Minier has held the fastest lap with a 155.158. And Ed Kersetter 2/10 off of it. Our big events are on Sundays, the 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Standard Time, as well as 9 p.m. on Thursdays, and that is the GT4 series. And each series has its benefits, but the GT4 right now is had a lot of spicy moments and is a very interesting race to watch. We do double headers and endurance races on that as well. Oh, cool. If you're signing up there, join into the Discord, and you're more than welcome to try to fill in the gap on a team that's already here, as well as create one of your own. There are several teams that have only 2 drivers right now on their team and would welcome a third. I believe the Bentley team could use one, as well as the Mercedes AMG team that have both retired their cars for this race. Stefan Lindauer is going down the inside line on Ali Raza. He's ahead of him right now. His nose is ahead. He doesn't even have to push himself on the inside line. He has track position. That is P5 for this driver. Mike Pickering, from New Zealand. Hopefully some of these events will work in your favor on time. So we have Ed Kerstetter right there on the. That is so close. Is he going to make a move on this driver? Look at the defense of Riley Manier. He knows he needs to maintain that wide berth. He does not let him get it. And that is unfortunate. Just keeping his car in the right spot. Yeah, I just hope the time zone difference doesn't affect your ability there. And while these liveries are all looking wonderful on screen, they do tend to bog down some of the drivers, especially if they don't have the greatest graphics cards. So most people don't actually run these in the while they're driving. Ooh, and that is a car that has gone wide. That is Travis Voldez coming from last place to P17, but gone wide again. He's just trying to maintain his racecraft as Jarek Snyder goes ahead of him in the Nest Motorsports. And all custom liveries for the most part. There's a few that are not custom liveries, and Ali Raza holding P6 still. Impressive feat for him. Eric Cassian in P50 in car number 55, P20. He's in points, but he has 2 teammates that are way ahead of him that are going to be holding the strong points for the team constructors. So only 2 of the 3 drivers will be allotted points, and that is based on where they're at on the grid. The higher up the driver is, those points only count. The streamer, myself, Jay Alvarez, is the only driver that the only person that really pulls all the liveries to show the most impressive feat. As I'm only having to watch it and not driving it. As Eric Cassian overtakes D Ward for P19. What an impressive move on him. And then in P5, Lindauer is on the heels of Andrew Pickerel of that Porsche, car number 33. I mean, some drivers like to see everybody's livery, but that's not everyone. I would drive with everyone's liveries installed, but I have a good graphics card, so it doesn't really bother me. Because we have a Morton Salt of Austin Chen that's exiting the pit lane. He has just served his mandatory pit. Probably most impressive undercut of all time as Austin Chen in P21 starts to lap the grid. Anything's possible. There he goes in on the inside line. He doesn't have enough of it, and Andrew Pickerel cuts him down right there, maintaining a good line. That is not where he's going to be able to get it. A lot of drivers have been trying to go through the S's on that that overtake, but it doesn't work out that well. Daniel Caslessy was neck and neck with Jet Engelman, but he pulls away from him slightly. And we'll go just right on board here. You see that some drivers try to take that the inside line on the right-hander, but it puts them on the outside line if they maintain a strong pace there. So the move to do would be to have just a little bit more nose in there, and then the other driver has to back off because you're taking that inside line of the next corner. And there he goes, overtaking Andrew Pickerel, as Ollie Ross is going to try to have a go at him as well. I don't know if he's going to be able to maintain that. Let's pull back to him. He is there. That is what a move for Stefan Lindauer, now holding P4. And if that wasn't Constitution for driver of the day, I don't know what is. He is held off going from last to 10th in the first race to now being last to 4th with only a 33-second gap from the race lead. That was a full sector off. Ali Raza's on the heels of both of these drivers. Let's go on board here and see. That's a bad on board because this... Forget that the Boatley Bentley has a right-hander driver. It's not American, as they say. Now he's carrying a lot of speed, and ooh. You could tell that he wants to make a positional move. He's actually 0.4 faster than Andrew Pickrell. Andrew Pickrell's last lap was a 158.7. Ali Raza's was a 158.4. And that is a major difference, showing that he had better sector speed through Sector 1, but not through Sector 2. So, but also improving again on Sector 3. Ali Raza definitely is showing to have stronger pace, just missing out on some of those defensive moves that could have got him or maintained his position. You can clearly see it here with this Porsche. He's pulling more speed going through that corner, and he's having to compensate for car number 33. So they are only 0.3 off each other, 0.2 off each other. And I haven't seen a driver make a really offensive move here through the back end of these corners. Not saying that it can't be done, I just haven't seen it happen on screen besides the final corner when people go wide. But nobody's eating up that apex as he pushes. It's not going to make much room there. With a gap from Riley Minier to Ed Kerstetter in P1 and 2, now a 1.1 second difference. And then for Andrew Pickrell, his last lap was a 158.161. Ali Raza's was a 158.083. Clearly faster. Overshooting that a lot. And there you have it. And something interesting to note, there goes Daniel Caslassie as Travis Voldez gets a drive-through penalty of FAF Motorsports in P17. That's unfortunate for him, as he's still going to have to serve the drive-through penalty within 3 minutes before being disqualified, but also has to serve a secondary pit entry to stop, turn off the car, lift up the engine or the car, and then drop it back down. You don't have to serve, you don't have to add fuel, change tires, repair damage. The only mandatory requirement for that is lifting up and down. As you can see, Daniel Caslassie has some damage, is what's probably put him a little behind, as Travis Voldez serves his his drive-through penalty. I think. Okay. Ed Kerstetter's only 0.9 seconds off. Getting closer. With 22 minutes and 44 seconds left to go, we'll start to see a lot more drivers attempt that. What is that right there? That was Kerstetter. And, oh, that's Gukassian in P18, as the race lead has now lapped several cars. And with the rules in place, blue flags do exist for us. So Erica Cassian stepped aside for the race lead and, number 2 to get in there and can maintain a good race. And that is a Ballard gone off right there. Some unfortunate soul has a track cut warning for that little attempt at the Ballard's life. Probably could be a movie if you really think about it. Ballard's life. How many cars will hit me this week? Okay, as we have Ollie Raza in P6, still maintaining a good pace. He was actually slower by 0.3 this last lap, so he's actually dying a little bit to the driver in front of him. As Constable Cody Wasserman, car 188 of IDRF Rue Motorsport, is going ahead of him, or pushing ahead, maintaining pace. He's actually going to be on the backside of Ollie Raza's in just a few laps, I believe. Now faster by 0.4. Holding P7, it'll be a great result for their team to get these points, as Jet Engelman is P11, as they're as one of the fastest drivers in the league. Anirudh Sundar has not participated in the last, I think, 3 races, and he is one of the fastest drivers in the league. Definitely top 5 quality potential finishes, definitely top 3 even. His pace is as strong as Riley Meniere's, but that driver has been absent from his team. Yeah, a close-up of this racecraft on terms of livery would be in order, because it looks pristine with a closer eye. And while we're at it, and we have some time, don't forget to take a look at 949 Sim Racing as well. They are I'd say a buddy community of ours, as we have racing events that are mixed classed that we're doing with them. There's, I think, 2 or 3 more endurance races that are going to be coming up with them. So that's going to be a massive time. I think it's one of the most exciting things we've done. It's a driver swap series that's going to be on November 13th and December 11th at Bathurst for 4-hour Bathurst 4-hour event, and on December 11th it's an 8-hour Silverstone event, and that is a driver swap series. So it's going to be mixed class GT3, GT4. We did one at Laguna Seca, and that was a pretty fantastic result, as we have several cars that have just gone into the pit. That is Pickrell, who's dropping down, and Ollie Raza, who's also dropping down, with Constable Cody Wasserman going ahead of him at P4. They are serving their mandatory pit, as the top 6 are now have not. Yeah, the driver swap series had 2 to 3 drivers per team for the initial one that we did at Laguna Seca. You can look at it on YouTube, as the Tracklicious YouTube channel. We throw all of our events post race, probably like a couple days out, just to not break any violations of any sort. As we have Stefan Lindauer on the back end of Josh Willis as he goes ahead of him. Wow, where's this camera view here? Overtakes him cleanly through the straightaway. Josh Willis now holds P4, as Stefan Lindauer from last place is now holding P3. And he goes really wide there, carrying so much speed. Josh Willis gets ahead of him again, but what an impressive performance, as Stefan Lindauer is now on the back heels of Josh Willis. as they go through Sector 3. It would be insane to me if one of these drivers decides to go into the pit lane right now. That is... If anything, Lindauer should try to go for that undercut right now, but neither one of these drivers is going in. As you can see, that right-hander quickly into that pit lane is very scary and hard to pull off, as you're going to have to drop a lot of speed going through the final corner as these two still battle it out. Wow, what an exciting moment to happen right there on that straightaway. Yeah, and last week was Bathurst for the GT. Oh, we have DeMarcus Rogers and Aaron Free of 6 and 7. They are in the pit lane right now, and they are gonna have a little moment as McKeesey goes ahead of both drivers right there. I believe. No, McKeesey's. Yep, there he goes. He goes ahead, and he's gonna take P6. Ed Kerstetter is at P2, still holding with a 3/10 difference, and they're in Sector 3. I can't imagine which driver wants to go in first, because it's really comes down to, are they going to repair damage, and are they going to add fuel or anything? And I was talking about Bathurst GT3 round 5 last week. That's up on the YouTubes, and Ed Kerstetter went into the pit lane to serve his mandatory pit, but he also repaired 3 seconds of damage. And ironically, he was 3 seconds difference from Riley Menier when the overcut occurred. And had he not served those 3 seconds of damage repair, he would have been on pace when Riley Menier exited the pit lane, and it would have been a very heated battle towards the end of the race, as there was only 10 minutes left to go. But he opted to... Oh, look at that. He does the overtake through Sector 1, and there you have it. Ed Kerstetter is... It's not going to be for long, though, as he gets overtaken. That Ferrari is really fast in the straightaway. And there you have it. This has been an impressive battle for these drivers as they are trying to push. With 14 minutes to go, it's really going to come down to whose pit strategy is quicker. And it's not like it's going to matter too much, as there's a lot of traffic. When they do go into the pit lane, they're not going to get a lot of free air there to make anything really happen. Is Jet Engelman holds P7 provisionally. There's a lot of these drivers that have... Oh, as he hits that curb, and it really shakes up the car. And he's going to try to re-enter safely, as he's now P8. Probably dropped to P9 with Andrew Pickrell right on the heels of him. So they go side by side. Jet gets a really good exit, and that is a lot of dirty track that Andrew Pickrell just got. And oh, even bounces on that curb a little bit. They are side by side, and Ferrari's technically faster right here. So it'll be quite difficult for him to maintain that. Unless they just stay pace for... Oh, there you go. There you see. These angles really play an eye on the trick on the eye. So Jet Engelman maintains P8. And there goes Ed Kerstetter into the pit window, or pit lane. He jumps back out as Riley Menier has a 34-second gap from him. He's going to pop out. That is Josh Willis in P3. Maintains himself, doesn't go into the pit lane yet. So that means that Josh Willis is probably going to try to go for the overcut over Riley Menier, because both drivers still have to go into the pit window, or the pit lane. Ed Kerstetter just barely ahead of his teammate by a second and a half, having actually gone in the pit lane and serving his pit penalty. as all drivers penalty as a requirement. All drivers will have to do such a thing. We have Azuri Racing of David Ward on the back end of Vandy Omega Racing, and he is close. Is that McLaren has been in the backfield all day. It's such a shame because it's such a beautiful car to look at. I myself love the McLaren GT3 series. Goes pretty standard line there. Ooh, is Andrew... Ooh, Jet Engelman must have gone wide. Contact from car number 33 and 747 just now. Yikes. Andrew Pickrell and Jet Engelman were fighting for P8, and looks like there was contact made. I don't know who was at fault, but the post-race stewards will definitely take a look at that if the racing incident is reported. That is one of the strong points to this the Tracklicious Sim Racing series, the GT3, GT4, and the Porsche Cup. Post-race stewarding is enabled, and points and penalties will be served. As Josh Willis has gone into the pit window, the lane, he is exiting, I believe. Nope. That is a slow burn. That is really slow. Oh, that is a really slow stop. Let's see how that works out for him. He's P4 right now. Lindauer is going across the straightaway there. DeMarcus Rogers gets a drive-through penalty as he goes ahead. Car number 2 is right on the heels of him through the... Yep. Lindauer is going to be just slightly behind him, and that is not enough. Josh Willis maintains P4, but provisionally he's going to get back to P3 with Constable Cody Wasm also having to serve a pit. It's unfortunately Rogers going through right now is not going to serve his pit requirement. Ed Kerstetter's 35 seconds off of Riley Manier, and Josh Willis is 30 seconds off of Constable Cody Wasm. So the exact amount of time for a pit entry and exit is about 25 to 30 seconds. And so it's going to be really close for Josh Willis to overtake Constable Cody Wasm, as the overcut could be the difference here, as we see Stefan Lindauer only a second behind Josh. He still has to serve his pit requirement, so it's going to actually build a bigger gap, I believe. I don't think Lindauer actually went into the pit lane. And Riley Manier, with 9 minutes to go, is still just pulling some pace. And that is where it really matters. Riley Manier should go into the pit lane to serve his requirement. He was going for an overcut, and I think he has it. But right now, as it stands, our provisional pole leader, Riley Manier, did a 156.3, and Ed Kerstetter, who served his mandatory pit requirement behind him by 35 seconds, was faster with a 156 flat in the last lap. So while Riley is ahead right now, Ed Kerstetter's reeling him in, and that's not where you want to be as a driver that has not gone in the pit lane window yet. It's just definitely not there. Okay. Just you can see Lindauer is not really getting closer. He's only 8/10 off this driver. Cass Lassie is only 6/10 off of his teammate, Jason Provolone, for P12 and 13. So both those drivers, we lost a couple of the Southern Stars out of the top 10, and it's just it's unfortunate. But there's definitely some contact, which is why that turned out that way. And McKeesy's invalidated his lap that he's on right now. So a couple Lexuses going down the straightaway with car number 42, 2.5 seconds off of him. I don't foresee him reeling him in, as he has a slightly slower pace than Daniel Caslassie, who's ahead of him. Ooh, and that is Josh Willis overtaking Constable Cody Wassam as he is exiting the pit lane, with Stefan Lindauer right behind him by only at 8/10. And there goes Wassam, P6, overtaking by Ali Raza at P7. I don't know if Ali Raza served his pit requirement, as on the endurance races you can set it where that green strip is next to their names that shows that there's like an orange strip for when they actually need to do that. But when we do these double headers, they can't set that, so it's unfortunate. But and then McKeesy is P5. That's news to me. So it's undetermined. I should have wrote this down. Who's gone into the pit lane to... That would have been some good commentating requirements there, is just have a pen and paper and figure it out, as they say. Man, we got a couple drivers that are really close. Jeff Allen for P10 on Aaron Free, both sporting a Porsche. Path Motorsports that you're looking at, in Flying Lasers Motorsport next to him on the left. Let's see that from the helo cam here. Almost sounds like a Wasp or B is going down that straightaway. Different braking marker. That Aaron Free went wide. Not too wide. That's actually the perfect line. I think just Jeff Allen trying to get on this inside line makes it work. So they go through that, and he's overtaken him cleanly and without incident. And Chronotis is going to try to do the same. He's 2/10 off of Daniel Caslas. Let's see. McKeesy goes into the pit lane to serve his mandatory requirement, and he's P8, jumping down to P9. Any other drivers that are going to push against him? Car number 93, maybe? Austin Chen is actually a lap down, so it's not him. McKeesy's still there. Ooh, that's unfortunate, as he now drops to P11 as Jeff Allen goes ahead of him for P9. Constable Cody Wassam is going to be on the back end of that Boatley for P5, battling it out. Go on board. He's a 10th off. He goes on the outside line. Is that going to make up the difference there? And that Ferrari just pulls ahead cleanly. We've seen it so many times. It's almost not even a question of if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen. As Ed Kerstetter is ahead of Riley Manier by only a second and a half. Looks like Riley Manier did serve his pit requirement, but he is now down. So the undercut of Kerstetter proved to be the, optimal option, as Josh Willis is still 44 seconds behind his teammate. Riley Manier is 7/10 off of this driver, and that's an uncomfortable place to be with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. You don't want him to get in that slipstream. And there he has it. He's reeling him in right now. Looks like he's reeling him in. take a look on board. Here he goes. Outside line goes a little wide. Oh, no! Oh, no! Ed Kerstetter is able to maintain race, craft, and get back onto the track. Oh, that is a shocking moment. Riley Manier has such a massive gap to P2 or P3 that it's not going to matter too much for what just happened there. Oh. Wow. That was a little bit of contact going through that corner. As the leader goes on the final lap. That was the moment Riley Manier was hoping for to make the move and get ahead. He's unable to do so. He's going to have to accept P3. Yeah. Ugh. You hate to see it. So we have Eric Gukassian in P16 pushing ahead at Jarek Snyder as they are of Ness Motorsports down the straightaway, the back straight. That is Josh Willis finally going across the line. He's going to have to hold off Stefan Lindauer for a full lap through this straightaway. Eric Gukassian still just gets ahead of Snyder there. Of the Aston Martin. I guess that Porsche shows its speed through the straightaway against that driver as he's going ahead. And this is Stefan Lindauer down the inside line through the S's, gets it, sticks it, and now holds P3 from Josh Willis. Race is almost over, folks. And there you have it. Down the straightaway. Josh definitely has to make a move here, but wonder where it's going to be. We have Ed Kerstetter of Panzer Wallmolder going to be able to maintain P1. What a wonderful undercut that he made. And there you have it. After the 60-minute race, Ed Kerstetter goes home to take P1 for Panzer Wallmolder as Riley Manier is going to be crossing the line at P2. And that's some good points for Adidas Parlay. And then we have Stefan Lindauer in P3. The best ever finish for Stefan Lindauer right now on the board. And for Southern Star Motorsports. What a fantastic race. Not only for himself, but for the team. This is some beautiful points as Josh Willis dies a little bit behind him by 4.5 seconds. Maybe try to make a move, and that even put a longer spot there. From last to third, Stefan Lindauer, Southern Star Motorsports, crosses the line. Driver of the day as well. That's going to be fantastic for him as Josh Willis goes across the line for P4. Constable Cody Wassam in P5. Ali Raza in P6. Andrew Pickerel in P7. Jeff Allen's got a little bit of ways to go for that to happen. And there you have it. We stick by with us a little bit as we are going to talk to some of the drivers about what has occurred. And there you have it. Stefan Lindauer popped on the screen as driver of the day. As we're going to have Kerstetter, Manier, and Lindauer in the box. And what a fantastic, fantastic race from all involved as we have Aaron Free crosses the line at P10, McKeesey 9, Cass Lassie takes 10, Chronotis 11, Provolone 12, Engelman 13, Gukassian 14, Snyder 15, Rogers 16, Vandy 17, Ward 18, Chen 19, King 20, a lot of drivers bowed out because of, some unfavorable racing incidences. That occurs, and it's unfortunate, but, sometimes, rubber is racing, but you never want it to negatively affect the driver of any driver on the field, and you want to try to maintain some good, clean racing regardless of that fact. And I have the race winner right now. Ed Kerstetter, you pulled off a fantastic undercut that's gotta feel in its own right very, very impressive. How do you feel? I mean, were you just hoping that was going to be the right move overall?
Yeah. So first off, good racing to Riley there. I replay just flipped. I was meaning to go back to the corner after the long straight. I thought I gave him just enough room, but on the outside there, and I don't know if you caught it on the stream, but we kind of got together there, made for some interesting moments. But that was a fun race. Tire pressures were a little bit low on the rears. I miscalculated them, so I was struggling a little bit behind him, and with the speed of the Ferrari, I knew I wasn't going to pass. Like there was once I was on his bumper the entire straightaway, and I could not gain any time on him. He still pulled away. So I knew I had to do something. And then once we started getting to some of the lap traffic, right, before I pit, I saw that there was a big cluster of guys ahead of us, and I figured if I could get up to, once we got up to them, I'd dive in, trying to gain an advantage. And I don't know if I just beat him on timing on pit road or he got held up a little bit, but it was just enough to squeak by him.
Yeah, I wish I was able to know exactly how that ended up occurring, because I know that he had a 35-second gap on his 2U overall, and then I saw that he was coming out of that you were just ahead of him, so I just completely missed it overall, and that was on my bad. But it looked like it's just a hard entry, so that's one of the issues there. It's just a hard point of entry, especially after slowing down. And some of the drivers, like their pit lane speed was just overall slow, even at top speed. So it was great to see that your undercut worked, and it was a 1.5 second difference, which he was able to kind of claw in on that straightaway. He really had you nailed down on those straightaways. And that was what was mighty impressive to Riley Manier, who was really just reeling you in. And it looked like it was going to be just a strong, maybe is there anything through that corner that you, after the straightaway, that was different that you noticed? Or was that something that was just a racing incident? As I'm trying to look at it now.
Oh yeah, I know we went in sort of side by side because he had a good run on me, and we entered basically next to each other. So I kept the inside line, and I know he went a little bit wide. I didn't know quite how wide, but as soon as you kind of take your line through there, you're kind of stuck for the most part. And being a lap or two from the end, I wasn't going to lift necessarily. And then I know he was trying to avoid the track cut line and blend back in, and I don't know. I got to talk to him after the race. I wasn't trying to push him off track, but I also wasn't going to try to give him more room than that he absolutely needed. So,
well, I think you gave him just enough room, and it looks like he's still within track limits, and it just looks like he taps that left rear, and that's what sent you. I thought it was going to take you both out, but he kind of corrects you a little bit by tapping the front end for you.
Yeah, and it was super surprising because it just straightened back out, and then I got a little squirrely on the blue stuff, but I was able to keep it going. I know he spun. I think it hit the wall. So
but with the speed at which he had, both of you guys were, a full sector ahead of P3. It really didn't matter at that point, but it did look like Josh was going to be able to secure a good finish there. But Ed, congratulations on P1, as well as getting some points for Panzer Wallmolder. Appreciate your time. Is there anything you have left to add?
No, just thanks for Josh and Eric bringing me on board. It's good to have some teammates in this, and looking forward to completing the season with those guys.
Well, congratulations. Thanks, Ed, for your time. And then we have, the driver of the day Stefan Lindauer, what a fantastic finish for you. From last to third, you really pulled it off. It was during that final lap, actually. You just came in and you pulled ahead. It was through sector 1, I believe. I'm going to try to pull it up here. Lindauer, do you have anything to add as far as where your mindset was from the first race to the second race and how you were able to, kind of reel in Josh? Was there anything special that happened there?
Keeping my head as blank as possible. I did not think a single thing this entire race.
Well, you can see that a lot of drivers made that impressive move through the S's, through sector 1, where you go down that inside line and just cut in close, and you make it happen, and we were able to see it on screen, so it was very fantastic. What a maneuver. A lot of drivers made the same maneuver, as well as Josh Willis did in the last race, and you were able to maintain it, and the Lexus showed its prowess on that straightaway anyway, and it's unfortunate Josh, put in a good long distance race, and just congratulations to yourself on driver of the day, and just an impressive race overall for the team, as well as I know there's some incidences that occurred that kind of dropped your teammates to the back of the pack a little bit. Overall it's still, what a impressive thing to do.
All three of us had our incidences pretty much throughout the race. I just got lucky and it didn't affect me as much as they did. It also didn't help that Josh ran out of fuel on the last lap. It was a good race for the Lexus. Very good track for the Lexus. I just try to keep as calm as possible and as empty-headed as possible. Just let muscle memory take over. He actually let me by on that braking zone on the final lap, but that was usually more or less my hunting grounds for the Lexus.
Yeah, and it was what a great race though, and I hope this confidence pushes you into the next one that we do. What a fantastic finish. Thanks, Lindauer, for taking some time out. As we thanks. And as we have
one thing before I leave, side note, you misspelled my name. It's E-N. But whatever, you say it right.
Did I? Oh, yeah, the E-N. Sorry, my bad.
Don't worry about it. You say it right, so that's all it counts to me.
Okay. Well, slightly error on that one, as I didn't see his first name when I was spelling that out there. My mistake. But we have Riley Manier, who comes home to take P2. Riley, first of all, fantastic race. You held off Kerstetter for the majority of the race, just like you did at Bathurst. You showed a very strong race. I was just trying to look over your pit strategy there. Was something awry on that your pit itself that put you a second and a half behind? Because you had a strong lead against him when you went into the pit.
No, pit was good. It was fine. If retrospect, I should have pitted earlier. That would have given me more time to catch Ed. I think the biggest problem was, Cass, when I went to lap him, I lost a second because he just kind of tried to let me by in just a terrible spot. So that's that's life. You lose time to back markers and people catch you. There's nothing I could really do about it. So I'm not going to dwell on it. Hopefully move on, do better at Monza. I'm just really disappointed in the final result. So.
Well, overall, though, you had an impressive quality from not only the last race, but this race as well. It's unfortunate that you got that drive-through penalty last one, or else you'd be able to take at least P2 from there as well. Just overall, it's been
mistakes, man. It's just stupid mistakes that I can't keep making. This track is tough because you got to be on the edge of the limit here, and
it's a fine line.
it's really just you're not gonna do well. So
Well,
I got really unfortunate, but I mean, I made up a lot of time on Ed in those last 2 laps, and then
yeah, you're able to reel them in.
I had 3 track cuts, and I really just wanted to get back on track through that final corner through that fast right-hander. And when I turned in, I didn't realize how much that he hadn't given me that much room. So when I tried to whip back in and avoid those track cut cones, I clipped him, and I'm glad he was able to keep his car straight. Unfortunately, I just speared into the wall, but that's life.
Yeah, and overall, it's even though there was a minor, that itself was not that great, but at least you're able to take home P2 as a consolation to how strong of a performance you had over not only this race but last race as well. So at least you could take that to you when you leave this race.
Yeah, I guess, but should have been better. Oh well.
Thanks,
Thank
Riley,
you.
for joining us.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, everybody. That was the double header here at Tracklicious Sim Racing, as we have concluded our post-race interviews. Hopefully, you guys will join us as we jump into another drivers thing going on right now. So just stick with us for just a few seconds here. And thanks for joining us. And the next race is going to be on Thursday.